Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here today. My name is Felicia from SweetGeorgia and also the School of SweetGeorgia. This is our live stream that we do once a month, every month on the second Friday of every month. This is our Taking Back Friday live. So thank you guys so much for being here today. Now, let me see. I am excited to have everybody here. I can see you guys in the chat here. It's really, really lovely to see you here. Let me see if I can see. I see Brenda and Meg and Vicky and Greta and Rachel. Thank you guys so much for being here today. It's so great to see you. We have lots to talk about. It is July. It is summer. There's lots of things changing here for us in the summer. It gets really, really hot here in just in the attic. In Vancouver, it's not super, super hot. Today is beautiful. It's sunny. It's wonderful. The start of summer has been great. Our kids are in a lot of activities, so there's a lot of running around and juggling time and things like that. But I've still been able to get some stuff done, which is actually really great. I've been able to fit in some of the making in between all of this. And so I have a couple of things to share with you and show you guys today. And of course, in these sessions, we always talk about the secret stash colorway that we've come out with every month. And so that's going to come up. And we'll talk about some of the other activities that we have going on this summer, including Tour de Fleece is one of them, which is July. Right now, July is Tour de Fleece. And also our knit along that we have coming up in August. And so lots of things to share today. Thank you guys so much for being here. Oh, I can even see Christine saying this is the first time that you've been here. So let me see here. I'm hoping that everything is going to go okay. Wonderful. Excited to have you all here. So, as you guys know, this is the start of Tour de Fleece. It just happened, started a couple of days ago, July 5th. Tour de Fleece is basically the event that runs at the same time as the Tour de France. I have here. No, I have here. Where is my thing? There it is. Yeah, there's my Tour de Fleece. This is what I've been working on. And so you can see it's actually on the cart here right next to me as well. So this is the cart that I've sort of put together for my Tour de Fleece spinning. This is a Daedalus Starling that was sent to me, and it is fantastic. I have it here on this little rolling cart. You can maybe see that's my rolling cart that I got from IKEA. It's so, so simple. And on all of the different levels of the cart, I put all the different fibers that I'm working on. I'm using, I'll show you what I'm spinning right now. It is this fiber that was dyed many, many years ago. It's a yak and silk fiber. So, so pretty. But this was dyed by us many, many years ago. This was Charlotte's colorway that she created for our basically our fiber club many, many years ago. And then I've wrapped it up in this nice hand woven towel that was actually woven by Amanda Wood. She's our rigid heddle teacher for the School of SweetGeorgia. And so she wove these towels using the Gist yarn, Gist beam, and they're all these like sunny yellow color. I think they were eggs. They had something to do with eggs. And there was two towels that came out of this, but it was a color and weave sort of project. And so these are the towels that I'm using. So I've just wrapped up my fiber because it's so fly away. Just wrapped it up in the towel so that I can kind of preserve it down here. And then I keep it on the cart. And I didn't know that IKEA made these things, but they have like a little bamboo topper for the cart. So it's almost like making it a little bit of a table, like a rolling table. If you take this top off, it's basically a bin and you can store stuff underneath. And so I've stored the power sort of converter thing underneath this little tabletop. So all I have on top of here is the e-spinner and then the tap on and off sort of power control. So it's been really, really super efficient. And then I can just roll it around to whichever room it needs to go in. So yeah, it's been fantastic. I really, really love it. So I was in our meetup the other day, our Monday multi-craftual meetup, and was talking a little bit about what I want to do for Tour de Fleece because everybody has different plans. Everybody has some ideas about maybe they want to spin a little bit every day. Some people are doing supported spindling. Some people are traveling with their spindles. And, if you're in the community, you might have seen Greta created this really awesome travel kit for all of her spindles, her supported spindles. She prepared a whole bunch of roll eggs ahead of time. She has it all packed away in this fantastic package that she can travel with. So that's been really good. So everybody's got some different goals around Tour de Fleece and what they might want to spin this July. So I was mentioning that I wanted to do a smattering of items. I wanted to do a lot of different things because I've collected a lot of fiber over the years and I want to try a bunch of different things. And so I'm thinking about this summer as a bit of a sampler rather than like doing a deep dive into any particular thing. I want to do like a few days of this and a few days of that and a few days of something else and just have a little bit of a sample around all of the things. And so you might see Bridget's just popped into the chat here. Bridget's actually traveling all the way in Estonia right now. She's usually on our live streams as well in the chat room. But thank you so much for making it. It's very, very exciting. Not exciting that you might lose power during a thunderstorm. Hope everybody is doing okay there and enjoying your vacation, Bridget. Thanks for being here on your vacation. Yeah. So, like I was saying, I was going to do a little bit of a summer sampler and just trying a bunch of different things. So, right now on the e-spinner is that yak and silk. And then I'm going to switch to the fin wool that we made. It was a fiber that we did specifically for Tour de Fleece, but it's actually completely sold out now. So they've removed it. We've removed it from the shop. You can't get it anymore. It's very limited edition. It was just made for Tour de Fleece participants and things like that. So that fin wool butterfly garden, that's a colorway that I'm going to try as well. I might not do all of it, just like a bit of it and see how it feels, see if I like it. I also wanted to do the 3-ply crepe yarn. So if you watched last Friday's video or the Friday before, I made a video about the Starling, about unboxing it, setting it up, and starting to spin on it. And so the thing that I was spinning as I was making that video was some singles for the 3-ply crepe yarn. And so immediately I discovered that, normally when you spin, I'm spinning sort of in the clockwise direction, you're making a Z twist kind of spin. But spinning singles in the S direction feels really, really different. Um, Normally, I have a little bit of I twist my fingers, I twist or I roll the fiber in between my thumb and my index finger a little bit to open up the twist as I spin it. And spinning in the S direction just feels really backwards. I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced that, but that was interesting, and I've made all the singles for that, I just need to start plying it all together. And then I have the bast fiber kit, which I am going to try out as well, and I don't know if Linda's on the chat here, but Linda was also working through, some of the fibers in there and just experiencing what these bast fibers feel like. What does it feel like to spin hemp? What does it feel like to spin nettle? Have you ever felt what that kind of feels like? So I want to give that a little bit of a try. And then I have this fleece that I'm procrastinating about. But the idea is that I want to spin just at least a few minutes every day. And I've been pretty consistent with all of that. Now, if you guys want to participate in Tour de Fleece and join us in conversations that we are having, you can find all of the information that Bridget sort of like compiled and put together about Tour de Fleece. It's on our website, sweetgeorgiayarns.com slash Tour de Fleece. We've made this kind of like a permanent page where you can come here anytime, any year, and have all of the information about this sort of ongoing event. And then we have all of our spinning fibers here at the shop if you're still interested in finding something else to spin this summer. So that's kind of what's been going on here. And then to kind of give you a little bit more background about Tour de Fleece, you may know that we have come up with our podcast. We started our podcast up again just after spring break, I think it is. So we've been doing episodes. We've been launching episodes pretty consistently every other Wednesday for the past several months. And so hopefully you've found them. It's called The Sweet Georgia Show. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it on Spotify, anywhere that you find podcasts. We've also made like a video version of it. So The Sweet Georgia Show is available on YouTube if you go sort of Google that or look for that. you'll be able to find just the video versions of the same interviews and things like that. But our latest episode is with Star Athena. And I don't know if you know, but Star Athena is the person who originated the idea of Tour de Fleece. And it started off on her blog 19 years ago this year. And so she talks, so we had this opportunity to sit down and have a bit of a conversation about sort of where the idea of Tour de Fleece came from for her, how she got this started. She wrote this blog post 19 years ago, and she said the first year there was like 19 people who joined, or 18 or 19 people who joined, participated in Tour de Fleece. And then over the years, over the past almost 20 years, it has grown and grown and grown every year. And so many people all over the world participate in this annual celebration of spinning and enjoyment of spinning. And I think, like me, many of us maybe didn't know where it came from or why we do it. We're like, oh, July, it's time to spin, but never really thought about, oh, where did this idea come from? And so this idea came from Star Athena. And so I encourage you guys to go check out that podcast episode and have a look there. But this is Star and some of her spinning as well. Now, what I was going to mention as well is that a lot of the conversation that we've been having with our community, and there's a lot of people sharing photos of things that they've spun. There's a lot of like day by day. This is what I'm doing on day 3. This is what I'm doing on day 4. All of that conversation is actually happening right now on our new Sweet Georgia community platform. And so, if you have not had a chance to check it out, I will show you a quick snapshot of it here. So this is something that we started at the beginning of June. So it's only been a few weeks, but we started building out this community space for everybody who is interested in participating in any of the activities that we do as a community. So all of our make alongs, all of our spin alongs, all of our weave alongs, knit alongs, everything that we do as a community to make stuff together is going to be hosted on this new community platform that we're sort of putting together. It's growing, and it's been really, really, really fun to get to know people through this platform. I feel like it's just been really conducive to encouraging conversation, encouraging people to participate. So it's been really, really positive. It's been a positive experience. Now, if you are a member of the School of Sweet Georgia, you automatically get access to this community. And if you are a subscriber to the Secret Stash Club that we do at Sweet Georgia, the monthly yarn or fiber club, you also automatically get access to the community. So if you need a link to it or anything like that to get your special invite link, then just let me know, or you can email us. But we have information in all of these different places to let you know if you would like to join the community. And if you're not a part of either the school or the Secret Stash Club, you can also join at any time. And there's a launch code for 15% off right now. And it is meant to be a very, very, very accessible sort of point of entry for everybody to join the community. So I'll give you a quick look at what it looks like inside the community. And so this is just the make along and challenges page, but like if you can see, there's lots of other spaces here. There's opportunities to, have messages with each other, to have chats with each other. There's a section for chat here as well. And then we have in here, news from us, events that we have coming up. All of the events calendar is basically in here, all of the different events that you can participate in and things like that. And then we have our secret stash, which is basically showing all of the colors that we have released in the past couple of months, and then all of the discussions about all of the different crafts. So we have knitting sections, crochet, spinning, weaving, CSM, and machine knitting. And so these are all being populated, like everybody's sharing what they're working on in each one of these sections. And then we have a couple of their sections here, the showcase, color, pattern library that's coming up, and video tutorials. If you are a member of the school, you will also get access to this special area for just SOS members and SOS events and things like that. And so we are building this out more and more. But to show you the make along section, this is our tour de fleece that we have coming up. And so you can see we've sort of put in all of the information about how to participate, and all of the stuff is there. And then people are actually posting what they're working on in the spinning area. And we have it set up with these different tags here. So if you wanted to only look at, spindle spinning, you could see that there. If you only wanted to look at people working from fleece, you could look at that there. And so we've made a tag for Tour de Fleece. And so you can kind of see what people are working on during this Tour de Fleece. And so there's a lot of great stuff that's happening in there. So that has been fun to see what everybody is working on. And I think it's great because it keeps everybody feeling very connected. I feel like I'm learning a lot from everybody who's working on different things. And then it has been very, very inspiring. I think it was one of the members who was in Circle or in our community platform who was making this 3-ply crepe yarn. And it is what sort of inspired me to think, oh, I want to make this as well. And so I'm hoping that that's the whole point of having this community, is just everybody inspiring each other to try some different things and to try new techniques, try new colors, all sorts of things like that. So it's just meant to be inspiring to everybody. So I appreciate everybody who's joined already and who is like just encouraging everybody else and participating. It's been fantastic. So that is that, and Tour de Fleece and all of those things. And yeah, I'm curious about what you guys are spinning. I'm curious about what your plans are. You're more than welcome to post that in the comments or the chat here. I'm seeing, yes, Star Athena podcast is there. Interview was very interesting. Yay, fantastic. Excited to hear that. Now, the next thing that we usually do, and I'm going to share with you, is we are going to talk about the color that we did for July. July Secret Stash. So, July Secret Stash, let me show you what we made. July Secret Stash Club. This is our monthly sort of colorway of the month club. And this is the color that we made for this month. It's called One Day at Venice. And it's dyed on Tough Love Sock, our favorite sock yarn. It's absolutely wonderful and soft, and it can be used for all sorts of different things. And we made this colorway because we wanted it to be like retro beach was the original idea of this colorway. We wanted something that was like a little bit of the teal and orange vibe, something that was like really just old school feeling, like you've seen posters of these VW vans with like a surfboard on top, like something like that. And that was the original idea. And then if you go and you look at the beautiful page that we have here that Bridget created for us on the website. She's put together this wonderful page that shares sort of like the entire story of this colorway. And she's taken all these gorgeous, gorgeous photos of the yarn. But you can read a little bit more about the backstory of what we actually did with this colorway. So this colorway is inspired by the idea of going to Venice Beach. And so Venice Beach is a spot like near Santa Monica in California. And so last October, me and my family, my husband, my 2 kids, we had met a bunch of other families when we were expecting, when we went to prenatal class. And so these friends that we've grown up through the years, it's been almost 12 years that we've known these folks. And so last fall, we went on a big trip to California together. So it's 4 families, it's 16 people, 8 kids. And so one of the days that we were in California, we decided to take them to, we started off at like the slime factory, or it's a slime museum in Santa Monica, which is called Slumu. It was really, really fun. But I don't know if anybody has ever played with slime in the summertime or in hot weather. Slime has a tendency to kind of like deactivate, or it melts, and it becomes, because it starts off as glue, it's made from glue, so it just kind of goes back to the form of being really wet glue. And so there was some incident where in one of the rental cars, somebody opened the slime container and slime exploded and it was everywhere. So that was just a really, really super memorable day. But for the rest of the day, we spent at Venice Beach. And Venice Beach kind of has that whole retro beach vibe because if you walk down towards Muscle Beach, which is at Venice, Muscle Beach is like the outdoor gym where all of the like weightlifting and powerlifting and a lot of the fitness world sort of started in that spot. And so it has a lot of like meaning for many of us, this idea of Muscle Beach and this outdoor beach and the strength training and all of that kind of stuff. So all of that stuff was really, really fun and interesting. But that whole day, you know, you have 16 people, you have 8 kids, everybody wants to do a little bit of something different. Some people want to walk here, some people want to do that, some people want to do whatever. And Nina, my daughter, was the only one who walked with me and one of the other friends all the way down to Muscle Beach to see this outdoor gym. And so she said that when she saw this colorway, she's like, I deserve a pair of socks in those colors. And so one of the first things that I made with this particular colorway was I made her a pair of socks. And so this is how the socks turned out from that particular colorway. And so I think it's really neat because when you look at the color, you think, oh, I'm not sure how it's going to pool. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this particular colorway. And I really like seeing how like all of the stripes blend. It becomes much more mellow. All of the colors sort of mix and blend in a way where the teal is not so teal anymore. The orange is not so orange. The whole thing kind of mellows out and becomes really relaxed and calm. And Nina even said, wow, there's like beach vibes in this. So it was really, really fun to do that. And these, surprisingly, were made on a 64 stitch cylinder, and her feet are the same size as mine now. I no longer need my 48 stitch cylinder anymore. So sad. The other thing that was made was this amazing and gorgeous shawl. This is designed by Cartucha, and it is called Aphytos. And the sample was knit by Anita. She combined it with another skein of sort of undyed natural kind of color yarn, and we came up with this. So this is, you can see the full shape of what this shawl is. So there's like one little point here, expand, 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 and then it keeps going. So I think the really fun and interesting thing about this particular colorway and this mixing it up into this shawl is you can see that like the colors are not pooling really. There's like no chunks of color. You just feel like there's these stripes. It's almost like a wash of color. These colored stripes of color. Yeah, you're just seeing stripes of color through all of this. And it doesn't feel like there's chunks of color. So that's one of the greatest fears is like when you have this very high contrast, variegated colorway, you're afraid that it's going to pool in a way where you're going to see like ugly chunks of color. But in fact, this particular pattern combined with this yarn, it just turns out really, really nicely. It just looks like mellow stripes. So I was really impressed with how this turned out. And so you can see the photos that Bridget took of it are really, really lovely. And it just turned out great. I feel like this pattern would also be wonderful for, you know, any kind of variegated yarn that you have even in your stash. This could be a really great solution because you can just see it. Like you can see a strip of orange and another strip of orange. And it's like the color is distinct, but it's not pooling and it's not blotches of color. It's not blotches of orange. So I think it turned out really, really great. Um, surprisingly great. So I was impressed with that. Thank you for knitting that, Anita. So that is our color for July. And now we already have August is ready to go. It is dyed. It is very fun and very cool, and it is all ready to go. And so we always have the same cutoff date every month, basically the 15th of every month. So if you want to receive the August delivery of whatever we are going to be sending out, that you need to sign up before July 15th. And so there's a little link there that you can go to. It's on the shop site. Secret Stash Club is where it's at. And then you can get that. If you sort of missed this particular shipment and you still want them, we do make these extras. So we make extras every month, and so those will be available for sale as well if you're interested in that. So that is our Secret Stash Club. I hope that you guys have been interested, in enjoying the deliveries every month. It's been really fun to make, and I enjoy that it's very much like a collaboration when we work on this as a team because between Charlotte and Hoy and myself, and we're talking about it, and then other people in the team are also, providing a lot of feedback and input. It's very much like we're working on it together and looking at it together and looking at like what could we do differently. And yeah, we make a lot of tests as we go through all of this. So yeah, it's really, really been a fun, creative collaboration with a lot of the folks here at the studio. So I'm enjoying doing it. Fantastic. So, the other thing that we want to mention is we're going to talk about the thing that we're going to be doing in August. And so, the next thing that we're going to be doing in August is we're going to start a knit along, our stranded sweater knit along. I always thought that starting in August is the best time to start because when you start a sweater in August, it could be ready for your fall knitting festival season. And our knitting festival that we have here in Vancouver is Knit City. So Knit City is going to be at the end of September, and we're very, very excited to be hosting the lounge for that. We are sponsoring that, and we're going to be there with a big booth of things. One of the things that we have been talking about related to Knit City is figuring out what to bring. And so if any of you who are listening who are coming to Knit City, if you have anything that you would like us to bring for sure, like if it's a lace weight or if it's specifically like a kind of weaving yarn or something, if there's something that you're like, I'm coming to Knit City and I want Sweet Georgia to have blah, 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 please let us know because we are planning all of that right now. And sometimes we don't always know what you want us to bring. And so in the past, we've like left certain things at the studio, and then people are like, "Oh, but you didn't bring the blah blah blah," and but we didn't know that you wanted it. So it's always helpful if you just communicate with us and let us know if there's something that you would like to see at Knit City, and we can be sure to bring that along as well. But in any case, we're starting August 1st with this stranded sweater knit along so that hopefully we will have sweaters ready to wear at Knit City in either one of these patterns. So these two patterns are designed by um, Andrea Rangel and Caitlin Shepard, both of whom have taught stranded knitting classes for the School of SweetGeorgia. So each of these sweater patterns is coming from the courses that they were teaching. So Andrea has a pattern here called the Falling Leaves sweater, and her Falling Leaves sweater has, a bunch of these different colors. It has three colors in the yoke, and then one color in the main body. And then for Caitlin's pattern here, Caitlin's is called the Oh Dearie Me pattern, and hers has one base color and two accent colors. And so there's a bunch of different things that you could try and do and things like that. And so as part of this knit along, you can see the information or the yeah, some of the details about the knit along are here on the shop site. And then I also hosted a session a few weeks ago where I went through both of these patterns and talked about how to choose the color palette for these sweaters. Because if you don't want to go with the exact colors that are here, you can absolutely choose your own colors. Lots of different variations that can be done. Um, and so one of the things that we did is that we went through a bunch of different color palettes. And so if you are a part of the community, you can go back to this event and click on like past events, and then you can see the recording for this session. Um, and so that could be something that you could watch if you're interested in picking your own colors. And yes, let me see if I have here. This is, yes, this is the sweater knit along page that Bridget also created. So this one shows you the two different sweaters that we have here, and then also how to make the different sets for the sweaters. But let me show you here. I can click on this. Yes, okay. So we have the first sweater is falling leaf sweater. So that is the one that was originally designed and knit in BFL and silk DK. So these both of the sweaters were made in BFL and silk DK. So it's DK weight yarn. It's not fingering weight. Hopefully shouldn't take a whole year to make. Hopefully shouldn't take too long. And we also have available the exact yardage that's required for each one of these colors in the yoke. So if you perhaps wanted to spin your own color for the yoke, you'll have some yardage targets to aim for. So like if the whole thing is X number of yards, you can just spin a gradient for that number of yards, or you can spin a bunch of different colors that you want to mix combine for those colors, or you can just use one solid color for that yoke section, however you want to do it. I do encourage you to check out the course that Andrea has made here, because a huge part of this particular pattern is how she designed the yoke. And so Andrea, as you know, she's written a number of books that have motifs in them, like stranded colorwork motifs. And so you can take a motif from one of her books and work it into a yoke. And part of the challenge is working it into this increasing wedge shape or decreasing wedge shape. So it's basically you have to adjust your pattern so it's not straight up and down anymore, but that it like has a bit of a curve to it, or a wedge to it. And so she's knit many swatches to find the exact pattern that she felt was the best for this particular pattern. So she's worked through all of that. But if you want to choose a different motif, then you can go through the course and then learn sort of how she does it so that you can also design your own sweater if you like. So that's the idea behind that one. And then we have here the Oh Dearie Me sweater. And this one is great. Like this sweater just we it's lovely, and I do love the antler motif. And so you can see there's also like a mitts version of this antler motif. There's a hat version as well, and so this is also again designed in BFL and silk TK. The difference between the two sweaters is that one of them is knit from the bottom up, and one of them is knit from the top down. So the Oh Dearie Me is knit from the top down, and then the Falling Leaves is knit from the bottom up. So lots of different construction methods. It also depends on what you like, what you prefer. Now, one of the things that I suggested is that if you are not feeling sort of ready to do an entire sweater, and you still want to participate in sort of like a stranded knit along, and participate and chat in the community and all of that kind of stuff, you're more than welcome to make something smaller, like make a hat or make the mitts or make whatever. But this is kind of the thing that we're hoping to do this August. And I know many people are even using their Tour de Fleece time right now to spin the gradient yarn or to spin the yarn that they're going to use for the contrasting yoke part. So that is all very fun as well. Yeah, so I hope to see you guys inside the community participating in this sweater knit along. I'm still working on my sweater that I started, I think, back in October or November last year. So I think Meg was saying if I start a sweater now in August, it might be ready for spring. And I feel you on that. Just yesterday, I was thinking, oh, maybe I should just make the hat instead. But I'm going to, again, try to combine some of these techniques. So because Andrea's pattern is knit from the bottom up, and it's kind of like a straight shot, right? It's ribbing and then straight up, and then you are making sleeves and then straight up, and then you join everything, and then you knit the yoke. You could maybe knit the yoke by hand, the colorwork yoke by hand. So I'm thinking that maybe if I use my knitting machine and I knit from the bottom up and make all of those parts and then join them together at the yoke part and then hand knit the rest of this section, that maybe I will be able to keep up with everybody and all of their knitting. So that's sort of the goal, and that's what I'm hoping to do. So if you were also wondering about what else we have coming up, um, yes, I have been doing a lot of machine knitting. I knit, actually, I was very proud. I knit a couple of things that I have available to wear very, very soon. But they were all made on the machine. They were made with lots of encouragement from Barb, who is our machine knitting instructor for the school. And so I can share with you here that Barb's machine knitting classes are going to be coming out very, very, very soon. I believe in August, the first class on machine knitting on this LK 150 flatbed knitting machine. This is going to come out in August. So very excited about that because it's sort of the beginning of a series of classes. So there's going to be a machine knitting basics class, and you can see Greta is holding up this beautiful scarf here that has the eyelets and things like that. And so these eyelets are made on the machine, and they are part of the basic class that's going to come out in a couple of weeks, in a few, yeah, like in a couple of weeks. And then there's also a troubleshooting class. So if you run into any issues with learning how to use the flatbed machine, Barb goes through a bunch of sort of common things that you might run into. And so helping with troubleshooting. But I do find that, learning anything new, there's going to be a learning curve and there's going to be a bit of time spent making swatches, understanding how the machine works, how does it feel, all of that kind of stuff. So yes, we have these machines sort of coming to the studio. There's like a whole batch of them that are coming. So if you are interested in picking up one of these machines and participating in the machine knitting classes with us, now is a good time to do that because we're gonna probably have a lot more machine knitting conversation soon. And then the other thing that I have been working on is you may know that we finished filming pretty much like 95% of everything that we need for the circular sock machine class that I have coming up in October. So I'm hoping to release that for Socktober. So it'll come out in October. But that's like the top down view of my machine. And so we're going to do we recorded a 3 camera angle CSM class. And so hopefully showing these techniques from both, like I'm going to be talking about it, and then you can look at it from the side, and then you can also look at it from the top, and going through the absolute basics from, setting up your machine, what do you need around you, how do you need to set up your space, how do you mark the cylinders, what's what, all of that kind of stuff. So going through all of those things with the circular sock knitting machine. Hopefully that's going to come out in October. And then right after that, I'm hoping to have a waffle weave class come out. And so we have waffle weave. Well, it's not really, it's like a workshop. It's not as hopefully as complicated as we think. So waffle weave is on its way as well. And so I can show you the progress that I've made on that. So we are going to have some kitchen towels or hand towels, kitchen towels. We're still kind of sorting out the size, the exact size of these towels. But so there's going to be some 8-2 cotton towels that we can be making on an 8 shaft loom. And so those should be very, very straightforward. I'm hoping that many people have 8-2 cotton already in their stashes. Otherwise, I mean, you can always create this colorway. You can follow the exact colorway that I'm going to be using as well. But yes, we have that sort of project coming up. And then we're going to do an 8 shaft waffle weave. And I have wound already the warp for the 8 shaft waffle weave. The 8 shaft waffle weave is going to have these 2 colorways. This one is lichen and this one is arbutus. And so I'm going to do a very, very simple scarf where it's 8 shafts, and these 2 colors are going to be woven with one single color. But because of the way waffle weave works, some colors kind of come to the front and then they like recede. And so kind of I'm hoping for this undulating color effect. That's my hope. And so the loom behind me here is already threaded for 8 shaft waffle. I'm reusing a warp that I used for double weave, and I'm just like rethreading all of that warp and using that as a dummy warp for this next project. So that has been fantastic. I'm very pleased with this progress. I'm just able to like do things in between all of the other sort of family activities that are being done as well. So I've been thankful for that. And then looking ahead, so will there be a four shaft version is what Meg is asking. You can use a four shaft draft for this scarf pattern. Absolutely. You can take the 8 2 cotton towels pattern and you can put it into an 8 shaft version. Both will be available. Yes. I think that we have not done a ton of 8 shaft patterns, and so it will be fun to sort of like explore into that realm as well. Yes. So yes, we have also in 2026, we're working towards a spinning cotton class with Rachel. And there's several more machine knitting classes. The machine knitting lace class with Barb is going to be very, very interesting because she has basically recreated one of our hand knitting patterns, one of our hand knitting lace patterns. She recreated using the machine. And so it's fantastic to see like something translated into this other format. And then again, Barb is also going to teach how to knit socks on a flatbed knitting machine. So mine is with like a circular machine, but she's going to knit with a flatbed back and forth. And so that's also another way to construct socks. So lots and lots of things are coming up in the school as well. Fantastic. And so that is basically what I have for today. Now, these are all the places where you can reach us, where you can find us. We are in Vancouver. Our studio is here near the Fraser River. We're down near Main and Marine in Vancouver, and our studio is open on the second Saturday of every month. So tomorrow, if you happen to be in the Vancouver area, you are more than welcome to come down and visit the studio. Charlotte will be there. They usually have a knit in or bring whatever craft you're working on, and there's a group of folks who gather and sort of hang out inside the studio and work on their projects together. It's really, really lovely group of people. So you're absolutely more than welcome to come and visit us at the studio during that time. Otherwise, we are open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. through 4 p.m. And yeah, open every weekday. And then you can find us at all of these different websites. And yeah, that is basically it for today. Really, really excited that you guys were all here. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to message or send me a DM. And hopefully, I will see you inside our new community space and see what you were spinning, what you were knitting, what you were working on, and all of those things. Thank you guys so much for being here today. And I will see you in next one. Oh, one reminder is that in August, when we do this live stream, it is actually going to be a week earlier than normal. Normally, we do the second Friday of every month, but next month we are going to do the first Friday, which is August 1st. I hope it's not August 1st. It shouldn't be August 1st because August 1st is a holiday, but it should be the first Friday. Yes. I'm hoping it's not. Anyways, um, we have to move the date of the August live stream because I will be camping. But otherwise, I will see you guys next month. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here.